Good evening, campers, dreamers, and babysitters, and welcome back to the Sunday Scaries. Yes, so it is just going to be me today. Unfortunately, Luke had something come up mid-recording. We were in the midst of talking about the news here, family emergency. Give him your best wishes. It's nothing like super duper serious. It seems like just a little accident here. So hoping for the best. Don't want to be spreading his business out there, but yeah, just if you guys could send some well wishes. Let him know how you're feeling. um I know he'd appreciate that. But yeah, it's just gonna be me. So we've kind of talked about some of these stories already. So this is a little bit of a weird one. But I am going to at least get this all wrapped up for us, just to get you guys the news, get you guys the content. Just trying to at least get this. We didn't have one last week because last week was such a busy week, man. Like to transition out of that, we had Scream 6, which was crazy. We had our spoiler review with Evan from Rockland Graves, which was a lot of fun. We got to sit down and just get into all the nitty gritty details of that film with him, as well as I got to go check out 65 with my father on Sunday. Got that review up there. Obviously we were a little late to the game on there, so didn't get the most traction on the channel, but hey, it's there if you guys want to see our thoughts on it. I thought it was a good bit of fun, and so on and so forth. Other than that, the channel has had a lot of great content. Hit it with, we had a review of The Lake this week, which was another creature feature-esque kind of film that we were excited to see. And yeah, didn't really hit for us, but our review is up and people seem to be responding to that really well. As well as another great collab we got to do with Levi from the Talking Tremors podcast, where we just literally sat down and just talked about the Tremors franchise. We've covered a bunch of stories on the Sunday Scaries about Tremors since we started. People like Kevin Bacon saying they're just waiting for the call to come back. Of course, there was the Bill Watterson story where his got canceled, and we were just like, dude, what the hell? Like, where's this coming from? I'm excited, man. I really think that video we put out with Levi shows that there's a lot of faith, there's a lot of hope coming from the Tremors community that we will get something cool here in the future. So if you're a Tremors fan, I definitely recommend checking out that video. It was, again, a lot of fun to shoot, and overall just a blast talking to Levi. He's such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the Tremors franchise. But without further ado, let's hop into some of these stories, starting with The What, an exclusive look at the creature in the upcoming throwback to 50s monster movies. Yeah, so this is an interesting one. We talked about this for a little bit here, just about how, this film in and of itself is intriguing just on the fact of what the aesthetic is they're going for. They are going for the intentional look of a 50s monster movie. Now, we know we're getting a remake of Them, which is coming from oh my god, Michael Giacchino. I almost forgot his name. But we're getting that here shortly, which is a very infamous 50s monster movie. So we have that to look forward to. But this is extremely intriguing because it definitely feels like they're going for that kind of an aesthetic, but they're kind of taking their own twist with it here. They have a Kickstarter up, so you can definitely go to their Kickstarter page and see what's what with that. It's a little preview of it for them. They're up to 29,000, as you can see, with 69 backers. Still 7 days to go. I know they're trying to reach that goal of $50,000. I think they can hit it. I think this looks like a lot of fun. They have a lot of great tiers on here. Obviously, the more you pledge, the more you get. But one of the cool ones is if you can be a big backer, you get to be in the film itself, which is pretty cool. I know a lot of films do that, but I thought that was pretty fun. Their video here is very, very unique and interesting. They come from visual effects background, so it's one of those things where they have a lot of experience when it comes to effects and monster effects already. So to see those people kind of get their chance and their stab at hey, we're gonna make our own monster movie, like that's awesome. Like I can't support that enough. In the article on Bloody Disgusting here, you get a lot of great concept art of the creature. Me big creature feature fan. This thing looks pretty creepy, pretty weird. It's definitely insect-like and all. I get a little bit of vibes of like Peter Jackson's King Kong. I think if you played the video game, you know what I'm talking about with this kind of back piece here. But yeah, no, I think this looks like a lot of fun. They show off some of the characters that they're pitching here, this robot in a suit kind of thing. And yeah, they're going full 1950s aesthetic here, man. Like they are really committing to it. And I think it looks like a lot of fun. I think that the concept sounds neat. It's going to be very small town vibe, very much like the Blob, them, stuff like that. Luke and I, when we were on here just a few minutes ago, we discussed Slither as kind of being that kind of a small town vibe to what this could be. So I definitely think you should check this out. If you're interested, go ahead, throw them a few bucks. Let's try to get this thing back for them. I'm excited for it. I would love to see this thing hit, even if it's not on, the big screen, at least in, the States. I would love to see it pop up on a streaming service or even just be available to purchase just to see, again, more indie horror, more indie creature features getting made. So that's my 2 cents on that. Moving on to our next story, though, we're going to be talking about Smile. More specifically, we're talking about Parker Finn. So, the director of the breakout hit Smile from this past fall, which we covered on the channel. Luke and I had some thoughts. We thought that it was okay. I know a lot of people absolutely adore this film. It is some of people's favorite horror film of last year, which, I totally respect. I think there were a couple other films that really stuck out to it. I thought this was just okay for the most part. I think that it had a lot of good ideas, but overall, I think just with the competition that it had, it didn't wow me. But neither Luke or I have gone back and watched it since it came out. So I think it is about time that I give this another watch. And I'm excited to do that just because, again, it's one of those films that has a lot of hype around it. And, the fact that we could be potentially seeing a sequel is encouraging. And I gotta say, even if I wasn't huge on it, I am happy that it is further progressing, bigger studios taking the chance on horror. And that's what they're doing. So Parker Finn has signed a first look deal with Paramount. Now, a lot of articles, a lot of trades you're going to see are touting this as the Smile sequel in the works. That was never specifically said. So Smile sequel is potentially on the table. Now, Parker Finn could go and make a completely different movie. All this basically states is that Paramount, whatever Parker Finn does next, they get a first look at it. They can decide whether or not they want to do anything with it before Parker Finn goes and shops it around to other studios. So, yeah, they basically want first dibs. They paid him for that. And, for the most part, when you do a first look deal, from what I understand, there's kind of the expectation or understanding that you're going to follow through with what the studio wants, which would be a Smile too. But it doesn't guarantee that he's going to direct it. It doesn't guarantee that he's, going to even write the film. Basically, he could just show up as a producer and have somebody else come in and do Smile too. But I don't know. I don't know too much about Parker Finn. He is somebody that I'd be interested to have on the show to interview just because he started off with short films and got his way into this horror space like this or a David F. Sandberg style. So it is somebody that I would like to talk to about and just kind of see, how he really broke into the industry. But yeah, I think this is exciting. Again, it is nice to see a big studio betting on horror. We always like to see that here. Paramount, they made a big announcement a few months ago saying that they are going to make a bigger push for having more horror films in their roster, which, obviously is great for our channel. And we can't wait to see what more goes there and what names they attach to the studio itself. Yeah, I don't think there's much else for me to really say about that. If you guys are looking forward to a Smile sequel, please feel free to let me know down below. And what would you like to see happen with this? Do you want to see returning characters, or do you want to see something fresh with the same kind of entity or whatnot? Yeah, I'm very curious to see where they could go with this story. Now, these last two pieces of news are the real big ones. We didn't get to talk about this, but yeah, I was very much looking forward to this. We did have our live stream just the other day where we talked Leprechaun. We had a lot of fun doing that. A lot of great faces showed up to talk Leprechaun and just horror movie news in general. At one point, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, yes, that is what our next story is, got brought up, and we did get to discuss it a little bit. So a little bit of a preview. Gonna have to have a sit down talk with Luke about this one for sure, because like I think that we both have a lot of thoughts here. I know he was really looking forward to this, but we can just talk the news in general with this one. And that is the fact that Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein lands Mia Goth and Oscar Isaac as potential stars for this latest Frankenstein film, which is going straight to Netflix. Guillermo had a really great weekend last weekend, where his Pinocchio film won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. Say what you will about the award shows and whatnot, that it's kind of just Hollywood grandstanding and patting each other on the back. This was great. This was fun. This is always awesome to see that Guillermo's getting more attention, because, I mean, this is one of the biggest horror guys out there. He always has horror influences in with his work. I have not seen Pinocchio. We had a lot going on at the time when it came out, so I never really got around to checking it out, but I have heard nothing but good things, and it is definitely on my list of things to see. I know some people are divided on it, but I think that just his style and, that kind of a story has some darker elements to it. So I'm curious to see what Guillermo can bring to it. But this, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Frankenstein. Oh my God, this could be something really special from him. I could see this being an epic story brought to the big screen. I really hope that they kind of do a Glass Onion thing where they put this in theaters at least for a little bit before they put it on Netflix. That's a whole nother conversation in and of itself. But yeah, I really look forward to this. And just the names that are showing up on this with Mia Goth, Oscar Isaac, Andrew Garfield. I mean, this is a really stacked cast already, and that's not even half the characters that would have to pop up. So could you imagine what more of the supporting roles could get filled in? Because anybody who's anybody in Hollywood right now would kill to work with Guillermo. I can tell you that much. And with him taking on a property like this, really giving us that kind of, you know, definitive look, or kind of that definitive telling of the Frankenstein story, because everybody kind of has their favorite. I know there's like 100 different adaptations, but I think that this one could really play into just the authenticity of the novel, the time period, that gothic element to it. Like, I really think that this would be a lot closer to what Mary Shelley had originally written. This is a story that I got more familiarized with last year. I finally went back and looked at the source material for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It's very different than the Universal Monsters version, which was always the version I was familiar with. And then obviously the Monster Squad version and Van Helsing and all the other crazy versions of Frankenstein they've had over the years. But this is definitely one where I took a look back and I just thought, damn, I understand why this is a classic story, because it was so far ahead of its time. And to have, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein be put in the hands of Guillermo del Toro in this cast, that's exciting. I really couldn't get more stoked about a movie right now. I think that they have a lot of not only big names, but charismatic actors here. I mean, Mia Goth is kind of the queen of horror, her and Jenna Ortega right now. I would say that she is the modern day Scream Queen as far as Mia Goth goes. I absolutely adore her work. Oscar Isaac he is one of those actors that I think is going to be a big name till the day I die, probably. I mean, this guy, he's already made such a big name for himself, whether it's big tentpole films or just small indie films. And yeah, he really knows how to pick great projects, and I'm excited to see him here. Andrew Garfield, I mean, yeah, he's Spider-Man, but before that, he was in things like The Social Network and a bunch of other indie films. The guy has range. He knows what he's doing. I personally think that he would be portraying the monster in this, and then you'd have Oscar Isaac playing Victor Frankenstein, but who knows? It could go either way. Maybe none of them are playing Frankenstein. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Let me know what you guys think down below about Guillermo's take on Frankenstein. This looks awesome. Again, this isn't like confirming that they're in there, but this is who's being circled, and this is who is in talks to join the cast, join the project. And I couldn't think of anybody else better to throw in those roles. Alrighty, so moving on to our last story of the day here, folks. We're going to be talking Evil Dead because, yeah, it was a hell of a week for the folks over at Evil Dead Rise. They had their premiere at South by Southwest, where the first screening was held, and man, the the amount of praise and everything that has come out of South by Southwest about just this film is insane. Like, people are absolutely going crazy for this film, and they call it like just absurdly gory, fun, dark. They say that it's a perfect amalgamation of Evil Dead 2 with Evil Dead 2013, which that's great. I love those. I think that those are two of my favorites in the series. Honestly, I don't think there's a bad film in the Evil Dead series. So, any amalgamation of those films is great for me. But yeah, I think that this movie is going to be equal parts fun, gory, shocking, and just a wild ride. I cannot wait for next month to hit with this. Like, I have a video that's being produced right now that I've been working on for a while, just going over the series timeline in general, that I'll be releasing the week that comes out. So I'm going to be entrenched in more Evil Dead content as we get closer and closer to this. And yeah, I'm so happy to hear that this all went well. But that's not the only piece of news we got. Yes, of course, with South by Southwest, you're going to get a lot of interviews, Q&As, things like that. And yeah, there was some fun poked. There were some things said that, of course, people are going to jump on. Whether anything actually comes out of this, it's tough to say. I really would love to see it, but I doubt it. And a lot of that comes down to someone had asked, Bruce Campbell if he'd return to the series. And Bruce obviously said the only way he'd come back at this point, because he kind of retired the Ash character after the series ended, was I would come back if, Sam Raimi came back and Rob Tapert came back. And he was directing. To which point Sam Raimi said, well, I'll come back and direct if Bruce Campbell will come back. So a lot of playing with people's emotions there at South by Southwest. They were just kind of going back and forth on that, saying, hey, I'll come back if you come back. Sam Raimi did later express interest in directing a new installment into the Evil Dead. He wants to do the big let's bring them all together, where he's bringing back Bruce, and then they cross over with Mia, and we do everything that everybody has been wanting the series to do since the 2013 Evil Dead. So, like, yeah, I am so excited about that. I mean, again, is anything going to come of it? Who the fuck knows? I mean, who the hell really knows? Because when, Evil Dead, the remake, came out, we were told that we would be getting a crossover and that Sam Raimi was interested in coming back. Now cut to 10 years later, and we're just now getting a sequel, and it has nothing to do with the 2013 film that we know of. I think that it is, again, kind of an offshoot, but yeah, we'll see where that lies. I have a lot of thoughts on that. Again, when I release my video later next month, you guys will have to check that out, because I want to know if you guys are on the same page as me or not with this Evil Dead franchise. But yeah, no, this is exciting shit. Like, this all sounds good, but they do want to keep it going. There was talk again about the Evil Dead animated series that was brought up this week, so that got talked about a bit more. Bruce Campbell said he'd be open to do something like that. I think it is just getting hard for him to, commit to throwing on the chainsaw and everything and doing it. It would really have to be something significant for him to tap in and play Ash again, which I completely understand. I mean, he did 3 fantastic seasons of a great show to kind of wrap up Ash's story a little bit. And I think it would be tough to really kind of hop off that. And the only way that he could and really feel confident, I guess, would be having someone like Sam Raimi back in the director's chair. And for you Spider-Man fans, Raimi also said that he would love to come back and do a Spider-Man 4. So I don't know if they were just riding the high of watching Evil Dead Rise and being happy to see that his property is still relevant today and still making people happy and making people freak out. So he was just being nice and saying, yeah, I want to come back and do an Evil Dead. Yeah, I want to do Spider-Man. Only time will tell, but this is an exciting, exciting time to be an Evil Dead fan. And I really enjoyed this. Fangoria did an absolutely fantastic write up on everything that happened here. Was a little bit of drama at the Q&A, where some asshole stood up. I'm sure everybody here has seen the video, where he stood up and said this movie fucking sucks, and everybody got that on film and footage of him just saying, "Oh, the movie sucks," and blah blah blah, and everybody was telling him to get out. And then, of course, Bruce Campbell had to, when the guy turned around and started talking more, just basically put the kibosh on that and told him to shut the fuck up and get out, which, got a lot of praise and applause. Of course, Bruce Campbell, everybody fucking loves this guy. So yeah, it's pretty satisfying. It's a shitty thing to happen, but it had a good outcome for the most part. So yeah, I gotta say it was an exciting week hearing all these positive reviews. No spoilers out there either, which is always nice to see. Very respectful South by Southwest premiere, and yeah, April 21st can't come fast enough. Really, that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. I'm just really anticipating that, and I had made some comments to Luke about franchise horror and just kind of where it stood with me after Scream 6, because it's no secret, I didn't absolutely adore Scream 6. I liked it more than 5, but I still had a lot of issues with it. But it makes me feel like I don't know if I'm really meant for franchise horror anymore. I don't know if like I have the faith as much that they can kind of bring these iconic characters back and give me what I'm looking for out of it. I'm happy that people are getting what they want out of it, but for me, it's just kind of been it's tough. But if there's any series that I have the most faith in right now, it's Evil Dead. I gotta say, the Evil Dead Rise looks amazing. I love everything about this. It's kind of an underdog story. It was gonna get thrown on HBO Max, and it's just been more positive praise, more positive reviews every single month until this thing comes out. So yeah, Evil Dead Rise, I'm excited. We're gonna be covering a lot of Evil Dead stuff as we kind of lead into that. So look out for that, folks. But yeah, that is going to wrap us up here for the news. So thank you for sitting down with me again. Sorry about just being a one-man show. I always like coming on here and doing this when I can, but it was just kind of an unfortunate event that happened. So definitely, again, send Luke your best wishes. Reach out to him, via Twitter or just in the comment section below. Definitely, I think everything's going to be all right, but we have limited information at this time. So yeah, other than that, we got a lot of great stuff on the channel. Lots of fun things coming over the week here. We had a crazy busy week with a lot of collabs, which we definitely need you to go check out. We also did our first episode of Splattercast Cinema with Alex from Beyond the Void podcast, which was great. Definitely check that out. We talked about Carnosaur 2. We also had, again, Evan from Rockland Graves. We did a few videos with him about the Scream franchise. And of course, Levi from Tremors Saga on here talking some Tremors. So yeah, lots of great stuff there. Lots of great stuff to come. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, making great headway. I really think we'll get there by the middle of May. That's kind of when we first started. So if we can get there by our year mark, that would be incredible. And you guys are the best for that. So if you haven't yet to subscribe, please hit that subscribe button. But yeah, I guess other than that, that's gonna wrap us up here. So until next time, I'm Dylan Newell, and stay scared.